I used to work at a hotel in our town, which was hit by a hurricane a few months back. Many houses were badly damaged, so a lot of people vacated the area. The hotel, a standard bed and breakfast type place with wet scrambled eggs, frozen sausages, and assorted cereals, is about a 20-minute walk from my house. I'll leave the town and hotel name out of this, as I don't want anything traced back to me. After the hurricane, the hotel had a busy month, as some people stayed there due to damages to their homes. But eventually, things quieted down, quieter than even before the hurricane. I worked nights from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., after which someone else took over until 10 or 11 a.m. I could always see how many people were checked in, and at the time, it was maybe 9 rooms. Sometimes, I wouldn't see anyone all night. There was a break room for employees with a coffee machine, fridge, table, and a couple of sofa chairs. The employee bathroom was also back there. I spent most of my time there at night, with a bell at the front desk for people to ring if they needed anything. One night, while I was in the back, I heard a deep voice from the lobby saying hello repeatedly. I got up and went to the counter, seeing a man on the other side of the glass barrier. He said he needed towels, so I grabbed a couple and slid them under the glass. He grabbed them aggressively, shot me a weird look, and walked down the hallway. I sat by the monitors, watching him on the camera. He was looking around strangely, then started rubbing the towels on his face. I muttered, "What in the world?" Then he got in the elevator, and I went back to the break room. About 10 minutes later, I heard the same voice from the lobby. The man was back, saying loudly that his key card was broken. I asked for his room number, and he said something random like 2C. Our hotel rooms only had numbers, no letters, so I knew he was lying. I told him our rooms don't have letters and asked if he was sure he was staying here. His reaction was unexpected and terrifying. He threw the towels on the floor, started smiling and tilting his head, then pressed his face up against the glass and said, "I'm going to kill you." He repeated it louder and louder until it was almost a scream. I yelled back that I was calling the police and did so, showing him as I dialed 911. He mocked me as I spoke to the dispatcher. When he saw I was serious, he laughed and walked out slowly. I told the dispatcher he was gone and said no to sending an officer since the threat was over. The rest of my shift dragged on. I decided to stay in the lobby instead of the break room. Around 2 a.m., my relief came, and I clocked out to go home. It was cold outside, and I wished I had brought my coat. I walked with my hands in my pockets and my hood up. Suddenly, I heard a voice from the parking lot, coming from the bushes. I didn't care what was said, I just walked faster. Once out of the parking lot, I was on a main road, but it was empty. I turned down a residential street, heading towards my block. It was silent, except for the sound of my shoes on the pavement and then someone else's footsteps behind me, running quietly. I turned around, and the footsteps stopped. I heard laughing and a familiar voice saying, "I'm going to kill you." Without seeing him, I knew it was that man. I planned my next move, knowing I couldn't outrun him. A nearby house had an upstairs light on, so I decided to run and ring the doorbell for help. As I approached the house, the man emerged from behind a car, his creepy smile visible. I ran, screaming for help, and rang the doorbell multiple times. The man grabbed me and started choking me, whispering "Die" in my ear. In that moment, I thought my life was over. Then, an angel in the form of a man opened the door and screamed, "Hey," at my attacker. The man's grip loosened, and I fell to the ground. The homeowner helped me inside, gave me water, and called the police. I explained everything to the officers. They collected the CCTV footage from the hotel and began their investigation. I was called to the police station for a lineup but couldn't identify anyone. The pressure and nerves got to me, and I truly didn't recognize any of the men. To this day, I hope I didn't let that dangerous man go free.